Live na, ma'am.
Thank you, Len. Mag-share muna tayo. Wait lang ha.
Thank you, Len.
Okay. Let's share our page, our live. Hang on.
Paano mo yung ginagawa? Saan ka nagano?
Punta ka dun sa page natin, kuya.
Sa page.
Uh-uh. And then, oops. Share. And share. Okay. Ayan, so magandang hapon sa inyo mga ka-Pix Pro. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Kuya Edie, Kuya Primo.
Magandang hapon din, BP Ruby.
Ayan,
Thank you
kumusta?
very much for gracing the Friday KC natin.
Of course, laging excited sa KC. By the way, last Friday hindi tayo nag-KC para makisimpatya tayo sa mga kababayan natin na alam mo na yon na nasa lanta ng mga bagyo at ng mga mga kalamidad. Kaya hindi muna tayo nag-ano. Okay? Pero ngayon, we're back on air para magbigay hatid na naman ng dagdag kaalaman sa ating mga ka-Pix Pro. Yan. Diba?
Very
Kumusta
up
pala
yung
dyan
topic
sa...
natin ngayon. Kasi we would be talking
Yes,
about
very hot. Very...
paano tayo maki-empathize doon sa mga na biktima. Kasi meron tayong mga kababayan na sinamantala ang sitwasyon at saka nag-take advantage para kumita. Di ba? Napakasad.
Correct. 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 Ayan. Pero babati muna tayo, Kuya Edie. Yan si Aryan Dave, ang unang-unang nag-message dito. Sabi niya, "Good afternoon, VP Ruby from Pixpro NCR." Hello sa iyo, Aryan Dave. Aryan, mag-message ka nga sa amin. May tatanong lang ako sa iyo. Okay? Message ka sa Pixpro page natin. Yan. And hello pala since ang ating host talaga para sa ngayong Casey natin ay Central Visayas, ay maghahay ako sa lahat ng mga nasa Cebu. Maayong hapon. Sa inyo diha, tanan, tama ba?
Yes.
Oh,
Tama.
ang galing.
Makasulti na yung Bisaya.
Ayan, at sana ay nasa mabuting kalagayan yung ating mga kababayan natin dyan, mga ka-Pixpro natin dyan sa Cebu. How are things there, Kuya?
Actually, maulan, maambon, tapos very busy, daming very controversial yung nangyari sa Cebu eh. Pumunta dito yung mga top brass ng cabinet ni BBM. Nag, nagdadala ng tagtig-isang helicopter. Grabe nga yung entourage nila. Kaya dinumundumog sila ng mga tao. Not just because of the helicopter, because people are expecting that they would be giving out something to help assuage the situation na mga disaster na face na experience ng mga tao dito.
Pero kumusta yung ano, I mean, meron pa bang may mga May baha pa ba dyan? May mga hindi pa madaanan?
So far, dito sa Cebu, wala na. I think ang may problema, Negros na lang. At saka si
Ah,
Slater Young.
just later yung problema. Oh my.
We neutralize yung
In-invite mo na ba?
under fire ngayon si Slater Young dahil sa development niya doon sa bundok. Kasi bumaba yung tubig, kulay puti. Dati naman hindi binabaha yung Guadalupe kasi medyo elevated na yon. Nagkaroon ng development doon sa mas higher grounds pa sa Guadalupe. Unfortunately, hindi na na-contain yung water kasi ang dami. Ayun, dumaan doon sa mga high-end subdivisions pa yun, ha? Yung mga subdivisions na dinaanan ng mga tubig. Kaya nga, hindi talaga mapakali yung mga tao na idadawit si Slater Young. Whatever it's,
Yeah. Kaya nga, well, that's
si
when
Narne mag-decide nun.
progress is at the expense of the people. Ay, nako. Anyway, bati tayo ulit. Kuya, si Ian Sacramento, good afternoon po to all. Hello sa iyo. At si Joy Kenneth Sala Biasong. Yan. And, si VP Mike ng NCR. Good afternoon mga kapistro. Magandang hapon din sa iyo, VP Mike. And si Sheila, Kuya Primo, si Sheila. Kilala mo to. Si Sheila Quiñones, no? She's
Yes, yung
watching.
dating natin, kasama na taga
Ang napakasipag
Cavite ba siya, Laguna?
ng Laguna siya. Ang napakasipag na Sheila. Yan.
Yan.
Pagka
Yes, the
in-spell
ever
mo yung
smiling.
sipag, spell sipag, Sheila. Ayan, di ba? Malapit ang Pasko. Ayan. Oh, di ba? At
Transfer
ayan.
na location lang ko, medyo mahina yung signal dito.
Okay, sige, sige. At habang naghahanap ka ng magandang signal, ay babati rin ako dun sa ibang mga chapters natin. We have yung ating LU, yung chapter natin. Hello sa inyo. And the Quezon chapter and NCR chapter, of course. And we also have Bacolod chapter. And sino ba yung hindi ko? Oh, ang special chapter natin ng Tres Cadenas. So magandang magandang hapon sa inyo. At nandito na rin si Pres Royden, no, ng Central Visayas chapter.
Yes, magandang hapon po sa lahat, no? Ating mga taga-subaybay sa kwentuhang cybersecurity.
Pres, mayang hapon diha.
Yes.
Maayong hapon, Pres.
Mm.
Ayan. Babati pa
Wala akong
tayo
ganahan
ha.
mo, Pres, kaya nakasmile gihapon ka despite the pressure.
Kailang
Okay lang.
walang pro kasi walang happy lang, walang tulugan.
Happy.
Walang ngipin.
Happy lang lagi, no? Okay.
Oo.
Batiin din natin muna si Enet. Enet, magandang hapon sa'yo. At si Michael Reyes. Mabuhay, good afternoon. Ayan. At babati rin tayo dun sa ating mga ka-Pix Pros sa GCC, no? Yung ating mga IC PEP members sa Qatar. Hello sa inyo. Magandang araw sa inyo. Ayan. And our soon to be activated ang Cavite chapter. And this is led by Engineer Bernard Viray. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Ayan. Okay. So yung iba ay mamaya rin natin babatiin. We'll now go to our discussion. No? And to formally introduce our speaker for this afternoon, I'll turn over the microphone to Kuya Edie. Kuya Primo, take it away.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. Sa lahat ng mga chapters natin, sa lahat ng mga nanonood, sa lahat ng nakikinig, dito na naman tayo sa ating Friday na balitaktakan yung Kwentuhang Cyber para tuligsain ang mga nangyayari which are relevant to us. We have a very relevant topic to the people who were affected by the flood and the earthquake. This is going to be shared to us by the very able DICT Procurement Management Officer 1. At dami niyang alam kasi in charge siya sa documentation sa lahat ng nangyayari sa department. And without much ado, it's my honor to introduce to you, and let's welcome Miss Mariel G. Mallorca. Big round of applause. Okay, take it away. Miss Mariel, nakamute po kayo.
Ay, okay. I am
There.
audible na po ba, sir?
Yes, you're live. Take it
Yes,
away.
sir. Thank you. Good afternoon po sa lahat. So, again po, ako po si Mariel. I am with the DICT Region 7. And for this afternoon's Kwentuhang Cybersecurity po, i-discuss po natin yung compassion-driven digital practices po natin, which I will share in a while po. Which is relevant po sa ngayon, specifically po sa areas wherein greatly affected po ng mga disaster. Pero hindi lang po yan limited sa disaster. We should live it every day naman po yung mga need po nating mga practices para hindi lang po siya ma-settle or ma-rely only po sa disaster response. So is my screen, sir, clear po?
Yes. I-full screen. Subukan mo i-full screen.
For a while, sir, ha? For a while lang
Okay.
po.
Yes.
How about po yan, sir? Okay na po?
Baka may lag lang konti. Hindi pa rin.
Yan, sir. Okay na, sir?
Hindi pa rin siya naka-full screen.
For a while lang, sir. Okay na po, Sir Primo?
Hindi pa rin. Ayun, from my end. Miss Ruby, paki-check nga kasi from my end, hindi pa rin siya naka-full screen eh. Len?
Hindi pa rin po sir siya nakaano.
Exit ka muna tapos i-share mo yung screen.
Sige po.
There. Sige, yun na.
Yan po.
Sana.
Okay na po siya?
Apa, reshare niyo ma'am.
Okay. Thank you po, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay po. Sige po. Start na po tayo. So again, good afternoon, everyone. I am Mariel and I am from the ICT Region 7. So let's start po. The foundation of humanitarian aid is, of course, compassion. But in today's world, the compassion must extend directly into how we deploy our technology. So this afternoon's Kwentuhan Cybersecurity focuses on compassion-driven digital practices, specifically exploring how we can effectively harness digital empathy. Also,
Excuse me, Miss
cybersecurity.
Mariel, na-share mo na ba yung presentation mo? Kasi yung ano mo, yung camera mo yata yung na-share, hindi yung...
Sige po.
screen.
For a while lang, sir. How about po, sir, yan? Okay na po?
Yeah, okay na, pero hindi siya full screen. Sige na, let's get kung wala natin magawa, let's live with this.
For a while lang, sir, ha? Try ko po ulit.
Okay. Meeting.
Engineer Mariel, nakita ko kanina parang nakashare na siya.
Pasensya lang tayo ng konti ha, meron tayong technical problem. Please
Yes, and
bear with
why-
us.
Ito yung ano.
how about po nito, sir?
Dual pa rin. Yung camera
Yan,
mo
meron na
saka
po.
yung presentation
Meron
mo.
na po? Sige
Yes po.
Okay po, thank you po. Sorry po sa technical difficulties. So, again po, good afternoon. So, today's Kwentuhang Cybersecurity focuses on compassion-driven digital practices, specifically exploring how we can effectively harness digital empathy and cybersecurity within the vital work of emergency telecommunications cluster. So, for today's Kwentuhang Cybersecurity, this outlines a discussion focused on integrating compassion and security into emergency response technology. So, for number 1, we have defining compassion-driven ETC, as this will likely set the stage by explaining what a compassion-centric approach means for the ETC. Second, we have the digital empathy and cybersecurity, exploring the two main pillars of the topics and how they interact in practice. Third is roles in digital bayanihan, likely detailing the specific roles for and responsibilities required to achieve the goals of digital bayanihan, or the Filipino term meaning communal unity or cooperation. And lastly, we're focused on recommendations and next steps that will provide actionable advice and a path forward for implementing these practices. So for years, the emergency telecommunications cluster focused primarily on one technical goal, which is resilience. That was the mission to make the network survive. But the digital age demands what we evolve today. Today, resilience is the floor, it's not the ceiling. So, we must integrate po ang digital psychology and user experience natin sa response po natin towards our community. This shift defines the next great phase of our work, which is the compassion-driven ETC. Simply put, this is our core philosophy. We move beyond just providing a functioning signal and focus instead on designing systems that are sensitive to the human element of a disaster. So for beyond connectivity, to truly understand this empathetic approach po, we must first recognize that a signal alone is insufficient in a disaster. So we need to go beyond connectivity. For a long time,
success was measured only by technical uptime. Pero hindi po natin naiisip na meron din pong mga individual na injured, separated from family, or grieving, or simply getting a Wi-Fi signal address this crisis. So beyond connectivity means we design our messaging and our channels to be a psychological lifeline. Our systems must be sensitive to the emotional state of the user. So if we deliver chaotic, confusing, or unverified information po, we haven't helped. Rather, mas ina-amplify po natin yung panic. So our goal must be to deliver clarity and integrity po sa public. Moving forward is, doon naman po tayo sa human-centered design. So, now, if beyond connectivity is our goal, then the human-centered design philosophy is our method naman po. This is how we take the empathetic intention and build it into physical and deployable reality. This means we stop designing for a perfect, calm environment and start designing for the worst case human scenario. Kasi hindi naman po natin most of the time na-anticipate yung magiging epekto po ng disaster po sa ating vicinity. Minsan po, kahit sabihin natin, ulan lang po yan, yung ulap, yung sky is clear, pero hindi po natin na-anticipate yung effect na possible na maidulot po ng simpleng ulan, simpleng hangin po sa ating vicinity. So this means we stop designing po sa perfect calm environment. Rather, i-prioritize po natin yung dalawang critical factors. Una po is yung vulnerable community. Kasi po, need po nila ng immediate accessibility po and simplicity. Second is sa stress responder naman po kasi need po nila ng equipment na robust, intuitive, and minimizes errors. So this philosophy directly influences every equipment choice, from the simple interface to the clear, standardized language we use in our alerts. It's about designing technology that is easy to use when your life depends on it. So, kanina po na-define natin na ang philosophy under compassion-driven ETC. So, sa ngayon naman po, haharapin naman natin yung brutal reality of the environment we operate. So, when a disaster hits, we face a failure cascade, simultaneously physical, emotional, and informational breakdown. So, we call these disaster communications as the triple threat to effective communications. We have infrastructure loss for physical, widespread panic po for emotional threat, and informational threat po, which is the misinformation flood. So, kahit sino naman po na naka-experience po ng any sakuna po, meron po talagang threat na na-feel or na-undergo po ang bawat isa sa atin. And to make this real, let's layer on a scenario we actually face in the Visayas, the magnitude 6.9 earthquake, Typhoon Tino, and other previous calamities, given that the challenge is immense and it hits in sequence. So in a major event, cell towers just don't go offline. They are physically shattered by the 6.9 magnitude ground shift. Fiber lines are severed and the power grid vanishes. So this kind of threat po is what we call the infrastructure loss, where cell towers, fiber lines, and power grids are at the first to fall, creating an immediate communication black hole. As per experience naman po nung nangyaring lindol last September 30, actually po isa po talagang di naman po siya traumatic, pero yung essence po talaga ng communication is very important. Given po na ako po, hindi po ako from Region 7, but from Region 6 po ako. My family is residing sa Region 6 po. Ako lang po talaga dito mag-isa. So, nagtitrigger po siya ng anxiety ko kasi hindi ko po sila makontak, hindi ko po sila matawagan kasi maya't maya walang po signal. Yung signal is intermittent or hahanap po ako ng space para lang po makapag-communicate sa kanila to let them know po na I am fine. So, at infrastructure loss, this creates an immediate total communication black hole. And let's be honest po na our first traditional job is restoring a basic connection, and complicated po talaga na after a certain crisis or a disaster, hindi po talaga lahat available po, especially po sa community po natin. So, but in this scenario, the quake knocked down the infrastructure, the typhoon brings the rain, and the flooding that prevents us from putting back up. It turns an operational nightmare into a total prolonged blackout and low service availability of the telecommunications. So as per experience naman po sa Typhoon Tino, naging struggle po talaga is mostly sa communications kasi merong areas po sa Cebu province that communication po is really hard kahit po magsisend ka lang po ng text sa hindi masyadong affected area is pahirapan din po, nakalagay lang po talaga sending, checking for messages or connecting kahit naman po safe naman po yung vicinity. So nagiging malaki siyang hurdle po sa amin considering malayo po kami sa aming pamilya to able to communicate with them. So meron po tayong mga reports na na-compile na naibalita din po na over 1 million customers initially lost electricity as Typhoon Tino struck, with one report stating up to 1.4 million Visayas households were affected. Moreover, meron din namang several reports that many areas in Cebu experience a loss of telecommunication signal for days, which is, we can verify naman po yan kasi meron pong nire-release na telecommunication status, yung mga telcos natin, kung how much in terms of percentage na po ba yung status ng service availability mo nila. The earthquake caused widespread power supply interruptions in numerous municipalities since cell sites rely on continuous power. Extensive and prolonged power loss often translates directly to communication failure. But the physical loss immediately triggers the second threat. Follows naman po, which is the widespread panic. When the communication black hole appears, the information vacuum is instantaneously filled with fear. Fear leads to unsafe, uncoordinated evacuations. It prevents rescue teams from accessing critical areas because the streets are blocked. A traumatized person can process complex instructions. So, for example na lang po is, on my personal side naman po, nung nangyari po yung lindol noong September 30, kasama ko po doon sa dorm na pinagsistayhan ko po is majority students. So, kahit minimal lang po yung nararamdaman namin lindol, lahat na po talaga nagpapanik kasi po baka po ma-stuck kami sa third floor, sa fourth floor kasi po yung accessibility po is pahirapan din with the volume of students residing sa dorm. So kahit meron lang naamoy na usok, sabihin may sunog pero may nagsiga lang pala sa labas. So it creates fear and trauma po sa ating lahat. So for those students naman po na away from their home, kahit po ako, isa po akong witness doon na lahat po sila nagsisiiyakan, nagko-call sa kanilang mga magulang na mapa ganito ganyan. So mafe-feel mo talaga na yung struggle and yung emotional threat po na nararanasan po ng bawat isa. So take for example po yung video as shown sa left side po. This is a video taken po from source Al Jazeera English, kung saan po compiled videos po ito ng mga nangyari last September 30 nung nag-occur po yung 6.9 magnitude earthquake. Magkikita po ba yung video po na nasi-share, na play ngayon?
Yes, yes, nakikita.
So dahil dun po sa nangyaring disaster po sa atin, kahit minimal lang po yung nafi-feel natin na um, movements sa ating surroundings na meron na pong sa iba lang, hindi naman po sa lahat. Merong uh, person po na parang, ay, ano bang nangyayari? Baka nahilo lang ako. Ano bang nangyayari? Baka mag-earthquake naman ulit. Ano naman ba ang next na mangyayari? Wala na bang communication lines? Patay na ba yung power grids, etc. So, meron pong nakikreate na fear na unsafe ka po. Meron din nakikreate na fear kasi baka may mangyari sa'yo na hindi po natin na ine-expect po. So meron din pong reports online na nag-indicate that women and families in northern Cebu who had already lost their homes in the earthquake and were living outdoors in fear of aftershocks were under extreme stress. Typhoon Tino added a devastating new layer of hardship to their struggle. So multiple agencies, including the Department of Education, Care and Action Against Hunger, have identified the urgent need for psychosocial support, including psychological first aid for students, teachers, and affected families to cope with the trauma and mental health issues arising from the back-to-back events. And finally, the newest and perhaps most insidious threat, the misinformation flood. Once we get a tiny localized connection, say a small community Wi-Fi antenna restored, the problem reverses. Rumors and fake news now spread faster than official guidance. So madalas po sa atin pag merong nakita sa Facebook or sa X or sa Instagram, sasabihin, na-share agad kasi may ganito, ganyan. Pero minsan po, hindi po natin na iisip na we should think before we share or we should think before we click. Kasi po, possible din po yan na magka-create po tayo ng misinformation flood po sa ating society. So in this scenario, the misinformation is weaponized for survival. The digital contaminant actively contradicts official warnings, diverts precious assets, and puts both lives and our responders at risk. It turns our communications channel from a tool of safety into a weapon of confusion. So, meron po akong share dito na table which provides a summary of digital misinformation and disinformation incidents that nag-occur po nung nag-lindol at saka nag-Typhoon Tino po. So for 6.9 magnitude earthquake, meron pong nalabas na fake disaster warnings, fabricated incidents, misrepresented photos, and tsunami scares. Sa Typhoon Tino naman po, meron naman mga AI-generated images, false claim about aid refusal, tsaka misrepresented videos. So now we have the loss of connectivity, the paralysis of panic, and the destruction of truth. So dealing with these three failures requires more than just technical fixes. It demands a holistic solution that restores physical connectivity, provides emotional clarity, and defends informational integrity. That is the true foundation of the compassion-driven ETC. And it what's drive every piece of technology we'll look at next. So we move on now po sa two pillars of response, which is the digital empathy and cybersecurity. We live and work in an increasingly complex digital world. As we build, innovate, and connect, we must ask ourselves our fundamental question. How do we ensure na ang response po natin is both effective and responsible? The answer lies in what we call our two pillars of response, which is the digital empathy and cybersecurity. These two concepts aren't separate. They are two sides of the same coin, and together they define our commitment to those we serve. So let us first talk about po sa digital empathy. We call this as the heart. This pillar is the why behind we do everything. So digital empathy is our commitment to human-centered design, dignity, and accessibility. It means recognizing that on the other side of the screen, every interaction and every data point is a real person. Our goal is simple, which is to ensure our services are helpful and not harmful. It's about building with a conscience, creating systems that are intuitive for everyone, regardless of their ability or background, and treating user data with the respect and privacy they deserve. Now we move to the second pillar, the cybersecurity, which is the shield. If empathy is the why, cybersecurity is the how. This is the technical implementation of empathy. You see, it's not enough to say we care about our users. We must prove po na we are actively protecting them as well. So cybersecurity is a rigorous defense mechanism na nag-ensure po sa commitment natin to dignity and privacy. It's how we protect the system we built with empathy from digital harm, whether ang data po is data breaches, malicious attacks, or system failures. Hindi lang po yan about sa firewall or encryption, but rather it's about a constant, proactive approach na dapat po natin protektahan yung people natin na pinagsaserve po natin, especially naman po yung most sensitive information nila. So it turns our good intentions into practical and verifiable safety po. So under digital empathy, meron po tayong 3 points na itatakal po natin. First is yung understanding user state. So we recognize that in an emergency or a critical situation, people are operating under fear, panic, and vulnerability. Their cognitive load is high, and their ability to process complex information is limited. Therefore, our systems must be designed to account for this stress. This means eliminating unnecessary friction or simple language, or prioritizing the most information first or vital information first. Next naman po is yung accessible communications. If a system isn't accessible, hindi po siya makukonsider natin na empathetic. This goes beyond standard web accessibility. It means building system, whether po digital dashboard po siya, public communication hotspots, or physical charging station, that are intuitive, calm, and easy to use even under duress. Think about po naman clear, multilingual guidance, interfaces with high contrast, and a simple step-by-step instruction po. Nakakatulong po yung good communication para po mas maintindihan po ng everyone, maintindihan po ng lahat kahit nasaan ka man po, regardless naman po ng language or technical familiarity. Lastly, we ground everything in prioritizing our people. This is our technical guideline, the commitment to do no harm. We are creating technology that is not just functional or fast, but that feels supportive and respectful. So these 3 actions, understanding user state, ensuring clear accessibility, and prioritizing people, form the foundation of our digital empathy commitment. Now, let's turn our attention naman po sa second part or sa second pillar po ng ating response, which is the cybersecurity, and understand naman po ang strategic important, particularly po sa context ng Philippine National Cybersecurity Plan or NCSP. So this pillar is much more than a departmental policy or a technical checklist. Cybersecurity isn't just an ETC policy. It is recognized as a core, foundational pillar of the Philippine National Cybersecurity Plan. This alignment is crucial where it means that our efforts are not isolated. They are part of a unified national strategy given by DICT to protect the entire digital ecosystem. Then the NCSP mandates a robust defense of our digital territory, ensuring the resilience of critical information infrastructure and protecting government networks. More importantly, we view securing data as an extension of digital empathy. Protecting citizens' data is a national priority. In a crisis, ang vulnerability po of people skyrockets talaga. Their data, which often includes personal bayan, medical or financial information, becomes a greater target po ng mga scammers na existing po sa ating society as of now. Therefore, securing this data is an act of compassion. This is how we actively protect the vulnerable from digital-enabled harm, like sophisticated fraud and exploitation that often targets those in distress. So, kahit po sa sakuna naman po, meron po talagang mga tao na tinitake advantage po yung vulnerability po natin. For example, merong cases na nag-text or nag-send ng information na ito makakatulong sa'yo, click ganitong link, check mo ganitong website, but syempre yung status ng tao is sige, click ko na lang to, baka pera to, click ko na lang to kasi baka hindi naman siya inflicting sa akin as a person, baka makatulong to sa akin. So most of the time yung mga scammers or yung mga ibang tao naman po is tinitake advantage yung vulnerability side nung nakaka-experience po talaga ng sakuna. So by integrating our work with the National Cybersecurity Plan, we ensure our response is not just empathetic in intent, but secure and resilient in its execution. So to understand the urgency of our cybersecurity commitment, we must recognize the specific threats we face in a crisis. When people are most vulnerable, so is our digital infrastructure. So hindi lang po tao yung vulnerable, kahit po yung mga critical information infrastructure din po natin naapektuhan. So there are three main categories of digital harm we are constantly working to mitigate. Una is yung threats to critical information infrastructure. The ETC network is critical information infrastructure in a disaster. Attacks on it are attacks on the entire response. So, ano po ba yung example ng critical information infrastructure? Yun po yung mga utility companies po natin, yung mga telcos po natin, yung government po natin, which provides the essential po sa daily living natin. Kahit isang CII lang po yung mag-down, apektado po tayo lahat. For example, utility companies, electric cooperatives, kahit total blackout po, lahat po talaga paralyzed. Hindi po tayo makakapag-withdraw para po makapag-stock ng mga resources natin. Hindi po tayo makakabili ng mga needs po natin. Tsaka yung need po natin for communication po is nako-compromise din po. So next is data breaches. We handle high sensitive data from registration lists to medical needs assessments. Data breaches involves the theft of the sensitive information from affected populations for malicious use. This isn't just an abstract theft. It leads to a real-world harm, enabling everything from identity theft and fraud to targeted exploitation of the most desperate individuals. Third major threat is misinformation, as we have already discussed earlier, na sa crisis po, rapid talaga yung spread ng false or misinformation po para lang po maligaw yung mga tao sa official guidance po talaga na ini-issue ng either government po natin, ng other critical information infrastructure. Kaya po madalas madalas po, tayo po din yung napapahama kasi po, mas di po natin pina-fact check if credible ba yung information, na-share lang sa atin, nagtiwala na tayo agad. So, nagiging triggering point din po yan towards an encouraging dangerous behavior po sa ating society. So the constant nature of these threats highlights the critical role of DICT's National Computer Emergency Response Team, or the NCERT. So NCERT is on the front lines, continuously monitoring our networks and the digital landscape, ensuring we can rapidly identify, neutralize, and respond to these threats before they compromise our empathetic response. So by actively addressing these three vulnerabilities, which is the threats to critical information infrastructure, data breaches, and misinformation, we can and through the support of NCERT as well, we can transform cybersecurity from a technical necessity into a life-saving function. So far, na-discuss na po natin yung ibang basic principles, which leads basic principles under digital empathy and cybersecurity. Sa ngayon naman po, we go through the digital empathy in action through a simple but critical scenario, providing connectivity and a disaster relief camp. So yung standard practice po sa disaster response po natin or disaster recovery is, for example, meron pong Wi-Fi signal is enabled. A complex password is listed on a single poster. Tsaka all data is treated equally, leading to slow speeds for everyone as video buffers. But this practice provides only service. However, it fails the user in their moment of their highest needs. So, empathetic practice naman po flips the standard of the standard practice. It asks, how do we design this service for a highly stressed, vulnerable user? So ano po yung mga empathetic practice po na nakakatulong po talaga, especially those vulnerable and greatly affected po by disaster? Una is, we first use a clear, multilingual pictograms instead of a complex text. We make access intuitive and immediate. So for example, meron po tayong mga postings na meron po tayong relief operation sa ganitong lugar, punta po kayo sa ganitong oras, sila po yung beneficiaries for this relief operations. Hindi po tayo nakakapag-create po ng confusion, and mas madali po nilang ma-assess if okay po ba yung information. Second is, we manage the resources wisely. Bandwidth is prioritized. We deliberately limit high data use and ensure priority access for low data messaging apps, enabling those critical, safe, and well messages to get to instantly. We prioritize human safety and connection over entertainment. Third is, we consider the physical context. We set up secure charging stations with benches co-located in safe, open areas, and critically, local staff are trained to gently assist users who may be intimidated by technology or physically unable to use it effectively. So example po nun sa number 3 is, nung after na po nung bagyo at saka nung lindol, yung mga LGUs po talaga, nag-set up po sila ng libreng charging, ng charging station po na libre to accommodate the needs po ng community given po total blackout po sa lugar. Aside po na not relevant sa connectivity, meron din mga establishments po na nag-o-offer, for example, ng free parking kasi po baka prone sa baha yung lugar nila. So this shows that kahit sa ganong bagay po, malaking tulong yung naibibigay po doon sa mga taong possible na ma-affect po ng mga sakuna. So when standard practice provides a network, empathetic practice provides connection, security, dignity, and peace of mind. This clearly demonstrates how we combine the heart and the shield to truly serve our citizens. Next is upholding the Data Privacy Act. So when families are separated in a disaster, humanitarian teams create databases to track and reunite them. This is a vital empathetic function. However, an unsecure database listing separated children and their parents is a goldmine for human traffickers and exploiters. This is not a theoretical list, rather it is a profound and a terrifying reality po sa environment natin. So if we do not secure our data po, our well-intentioned effort to help becomes a dangerous liability naman, actively enabling those who seek to harm the most vulnerable. So this is where compassionate cybersecurity naman po steps in, guided by the law. Our commitment to secure this information is a direct application of the Philippine Data Privacy Act or the Republic Act 10173. Upholding this act means implementing end-to-end encryption and strict access controls on data that in the wrong hand possess an immediate threat to life and safety. So by strictly adhering po sa Data Privacy Act, we can ensure our actions are both legal and compassionate, turning our digital systems into a sanctuary of protection rather than a source of further injury or further danger. So, kanina po, na-define natin yung digital empathy natin, which is the heart, and the cybersecurity natin, which is the shield. Our path forward is our operational roadmap that require us to enable these principles into the 4 compassion-driven practices. So, meron po din tayo ditong aligned policy, resilience tech, shared protocols, and digital bayanihan. So our journey starts with aligned policy. This means we must seamlessly integrate our human-centered design and do not harm principles with the National Cybersecurity Plan and the Data Privacy Act. So compassion must be written into our rules. The next step naman po is resilience tech. We must enforce security by default. We treat every response network we deploy as a critical information infrastructure, making it non-negotiable that our systems are built secure from the ground up, not secured as an afterthought. Third naman po is yung shared protocols natin. These shared protocols wherein security is a collaborative effort. So, meron po tayong regular vulnerability assessment and shared threat intelligence with the NCERT naman. This is to build unified defense against digital threats across all operational areas. And lastly, we cultivate the digital bayanihan. This is about empowering people. We must train our first responders, ang local staff po natin and volunteers na hindi lang for technical operations, but also in digital literacy, data privacy protocols, and truly empathetic communication. This turns every responder into a protector of both the physical and the digital safety of our citizens. So ano po yung mga challenges and ways forwards natin in the Philippine context? So una po talaga na challenge is the timely deployment versus security. So CDICT po is focused most of the time po is into response and recovery. So nagiging challenge po yung timely deployment versus security kasi po naka-align po siya nga na dapat mag-deploy na ngayon. Kasi may sakuna, deploy na agad pero hindi po natin nakikita na safe ba mag-deploy sa field given na kakatapos lang ng sakuna, hindi pa nga na-check magde-deploy na ba agad. So nagiging nako-compromise po yung response po na nabibigay natin kasi po need po natin na i-secure muna yung place bago po yung deployment po natin sa field. So in terms naman sa ways forward is use emergency connectivity kits with security protocols and following the standard operating procedure na binibigay po ng ating mga agencies para po meron po tayong guide na go na po tayo sa ganitong area kasi po needed po nila ng help given na critically or severely affected po sila ng sakuna. Next challenge naman po is resource constraint, which we may refer to lack of budget or personnel. Kasi po may tendency po na merong areas na kulang po sila sa manpower dahil po wala nga pong budget, wala pong ipapasweldo po sa personnel, nagiging cause po siya ng resource constraints. Aside po niyan, pwede din po natin siya ma-relate in terms sa capacity, wherein pag may sakuna, mas ideal po na meron tayong equipment na pwede natin i-deploy hindi lang para sa ating sarili but for the community para po bigyan natin tugon yung needs natin, especially sa connectivity, saka sa power, na essential po talaga sa daily lives po natin. So yung ways forward naman po is to pool resources with internal and partner agencies, leveraging the ICT's existing government emergency communication systems, and using automated monitoring to maximize the efficiency of our limited human expertise. Next challenge naman po natin is geographic or physical. So the geographic and physical context of the Philippines, an archipelago constantly facing typhoons, water damage, and power surges, presents specific challenges that can destroy standard equipment. We combat this by investing into ruggedized, redundant systems built withstand extreme environments. Crucially, we maintain a satellite and high-frequency radio backups to ensure communication resilience when ground infrastructure fails. Lastly is the interoperability, wherein our response involves multiple agencies like LGUs, non-government offices, the AFP, and international partners, all using different, sometimes incompatible systems. Our strategic mitigation is to use the National Cybersecurity Plan as a single common security baseline for all response partners. By agreeing to the shared security minimum, we can facilitate a seamless and a secure communication across the entire response ecosystem. So by addressing these challenges, we can ensure that our twin pillars of empathy and security are resilient and effective, turning these principles into life-saving practice on the ground. Ultimately, the success of the two pillars of response, the digital empathy and cybersecurity, depends on a collective unified effort. We call this our digital bayanihan, where every partner has clearly defined and critical role po sa ating society. So for digital bayanihan, we have the ICT, the ETC, and the LGUs and responders. So ano po ba yung role ng DICT in digital bayanihan? So DICT is the leader and the standard setter. They provide the foundational policy and infrastructure. This includes setting the national standard through the National Cybersecurity Plan and the Data Privacy Act. DICT provides the critical backbone, the JEX infrastructure, and leads the defense through the NCERT. They are the national authority ensuring consistency and resilience. Next is the Emergency Telecommunications Cluster, which augments and supports DICT's national efforts. ETC brings global standards, specialized technical expertise, and surge capacity when a disaster exceeds local resources. Crucially, ETC's commitment is to align completely with DICT's framework, ensuring that any international support immediately integrates into the Philippines' national standards for security and privacy. And finally, we rely on the LGUs and responders, the true frontline, kasi sila po talaga yung unang frontliners po natin with respect po sa any sakuna po na nararanasan po natin. They are the last mile of digital empathy. It is their direct engagement, assisting a stressed user at a charging station, ensuring clear communication, and securing handling registration data at the community level. They are the guardians of both the person and the data, making their training in compassionate cybersecurity absolutely vital. So to translate these principles into permanent operational readiness, meron po tayong pinopropose na recommendation and next steps po. Una po is, sana ma-prioritize din po natin yung magkaroon ng joint training. Kasi po sa sakuna po, hindi na po natin naiisip na ano yung next natin gagawin na something technical. Kasi po naka-cloud na po yung isip natin ng trauma, ng anxiety, ng stress na ay magsisave na ako ng ganito, mag-i-imbak na ako ng ganito, pero hindi po natin naiisip na meron din pong mga simulation exercises na nakakatulong po na makafocus naman po sa digital threats at saka sa data breaches. So, joint training also involves the ICT, the NDRRMC, and the ETC. So, once joint training is being conducted naman po, this hands-on training ensures na that our team can respond quickly and securely when under the stress of a real-world digital attack, making our security response instinctive. Next po is we need a shared playbook. We must formalize a digital response playbook that is the authoritative guide for all humanitarian actors operating in the country. The core purpose po ng playbook natin is to ensure that every organization, mapa-national man siya or international, meron pong mandatory compliance po with the Data Privacy Act and with the National Cybersecurity Plan. This creates a non-negotiable standard process for all data handling and connectivity deployment, ensuring that our shared operations are protected by law and guided by empathy. On the cybersecurity front naman po, we need to formalize and CertLink. While collaboration exists, we must establish a formal, standing protocol for real-time threat intelligence sharing between the ETC and the DICTs and CERT during a crisis. Cyber attacks move in minutes. A formal link ensures that ETC, which often sees international or specialized threats, can rapidly feed intelligence to the national response team and vice versa. This proactive, collaborative defense is essential to secure our data networks and protect citizens' data. And lastly is the digital empathy front, we propose a human-centered design workshop. Yung ganito namang joint workshop po would bring together designers, responders, and policymakers to review and co-design using user-facing services such as Wi-Fi portals, registration form, and public service apps with empathy at the forefront. The goal is to ensure that every digital touchpoint is intuitive, calm, and accessible, especially po doon sa users na under extreme stress. This is where the principles of the heart transition into tangible, kind, and effective user experience. So, ano po yung mga governing bodies po natin para meron po tayong overview po sa mga roles natin with respect sa Philippines Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Framework. So for the framework po, we have the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, which is the highest level national policy-making and coordinating body for disaster efforts. Next is...
Mariel, I'm sorry. Ilang
Yes, sir.
slides na left? How many slides left?
2 slides na lang, sir.
Sige, wrap up na tayo.
Sige, sir.
Thank you. Sorry.
Next is we have the Emergency Telecommunications Cluster naman, which is the operational arm under the NDRMC, responsible for all communications for response efforts. And lastly, we have the DICT or the lead, which is the designated agency and chair of the ETC, mandated to coordinate, deploy, and supplemental critical ICT services. So before po ako mag-end, I would like to acknowledge lang po yung regional director namin, si Director Frederick D.C. Amores, for his selfless dedication in supporting the core mandate of DICT and ensuring the success of our emergency response effort. His leadership is the bedrock of our operational excellence in the region. Furthermore po, I would like to acknowledge the entire DICT Region 7's Regional Government Emergency Telecommunications Team kasi sila po talaga yung nasa proactive deployment, yung tireless efforts po nila tsaka expertise para lang po ma-maintain yung ICT services po natin during response and recovery po in times of crisis and to ensure that communications remains vital for every Filipino and here in Region 7 po. So, as we conclude, let's internalize that compassion-driven digital practices are a strategic imperative for the ETC, and effective cybersecurity is impossible without digital empathy. So, that would be all. Again po, ako po si Mariel from the ICT Region 7. Have a great evening po, everyone, and thank you po.
Thank you very much. Grabe. That was a very technical presentation. I'm very happy. I'm very
Yes,
happy
sir.
na ginagawa nyo yan. You were thinking of empathy to those people that you would be serving before, during, and maybe after. So it's just this, maybe this program is still very new. Maybe nakailangan na ba tayo dito? Nakailang disaster na ba tayo sa implementation dito? Hello, Miss Mariel? Can you hear me? Ayan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If with respect naman po sa this year na event po is nasa 2 disaster po which is na i-implement na din po natin yung empathy po sa sa towards po serving our society. Pero I pwede po si Sir Roy din maka-share din po ng inputs from previous years po kasi po meron po siyang gustong i-share din po.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening naman po, no? Medyo ano na tayo sa oras, but no, dito sa ang importante kasi, no, masabi ko lang at the ground, no? Kasi part din tayo ng response team, no? Yung well-being and safety ng mga responders, no, when it comes to accessing online, no? Yun yung priority din namin, no? Kasi medyo stress na sila tapos malayo sa pamilya, no? Kailangan namin sila na bigyan ng at the end of the day, no? Yung mga nagre-relievo yan, no? 24/7 yung mga rescue operation, lalo na doon yung earthquake operation dito sa North of Cebu, no? So lahat po i-provide mo ng connectivity para at least man lang ma-connect nila yung mga pamilya nila, no? So isa din sa priority namin na ma-provide yung communications and connectivity ng mga responder.
Yeah, thank you very much. The reason I asked that question is, yung sinasabi nga nila, the real testing of the fooding is in the eating. So, in theory, meron na tayo, tapos, considering yung mga tinatawag natin na services with the heart, di ba? Kasi we're thinking, putting the people at the center before, during, and after the disaster.
Yeah, actually yung support ng after, no, yung sa mga responders, kasi yan yung hinati natin during rescue operations and emergency. Naka-standby po tayo doon sa operation center, pero yung support to operation para doon sa mga government agency, yun yung priority. Pero once mag-recovery na, no, meron na yung tinatawag na evacuation center, may relief assistance na, doon na tayo magti-take over doon sa provision ng connectivity nila doon sa mga evacuees naman, no. So yun yung mga Yun yung mga priorities ng emergency telecom team.
Yeah, kasi ako personally na-experience ko to doon sa Bugo eh. Yung
Bugo,
days after the earthquake, naka-transfer kami ng pera doon sa kaibigan namin sa Bugo.
yun
Which
nga,
is
yun nga.
very
Oo.
positive, correct?
So yung isa din yun, no? Kasi yung weakness ng mga tao na during disaster, may mga tao din na nag-take advantage doon sa kanilang weaknesses, no? Doon din yung papasok tayo diyan, no? Na kailangan at the local government, no? Kailangan i-monitor yung mga nag-take advantage, lalo na doon sa mga magsusulisit ng pera, yung mga hihingi ng assistance na hindi naman kasama doon sa mga disaster, no? So, and magpapa-GCash na hindi naman sa kanila
Yeah.
yon, no? Doon yung nakita natin na tinamaan pa ng sakuna, tinamaan pa ng disaster, mabiktima pa ng online scamming.
Kaya nga, maraming yung sinasabi nila somebody's misery is another person's business. Itong mga walang hiyang mga nag-take advantage na to, victimizing yung nabiktima na ng disaster. So sana because of our program, these things
Yeah,
will be
oo.
prevented and these people
Sana
will be
magtulungan, no?
apprehended,
Sana
tried and put in
magtulungan.
jail. Di ba?
Sana magtulungan tayo kasi yun nga, internet is life na sa atin. So, ang sa atin lang is na maiwasan yung mabibiktima pa, no? Na may mga taong nag-take advantage, no? Yung mga technical terms ng access ng mag-impersonate ng mga Facebook page, mga tao dyan, mga accounts,
Yeah.
lalo na yung mag-hijack ng mga wifi doon sa mga evacuation center. Sana man lang, huwag na muna kayo dyan. Iwasan nyo, no? Matulungan tayo, lalo na pagdating ng disaster. No? Kasi ang emergency team, nakapokus to sa response and relief operation. Sana man lang, walang take advance. No? Yun ang nakita ko na maiwasan natin. Tsaka may monitor.
Yeah, ang importante matrace at saka, di ba? Pag traceable siya, then sooner or later they would be apprehended. Yun ang importante kasi kailangan yung interagency coordination para
Tama.
kasi andun naman yun sa ano sa program niyo eh. Yung
Oo,
interagency
nandun.
coordination,
Yung
LGUs,
yung
DENR, PN.
yung regional team or disaster or RDRRC, no? Yung sa council mismo.
Yes.
Tinitik up namin kasi may mga yung post disaster assessment, no? Needs assessment, no? Kasama yung kasama natin i-input yung mga ano yung nangyari on the ground, ano pa yung lessons learned. Importante kasi yung lessons learned, yung ano bang pwede pang baguhin o pwedeng gamitin, no, sa susunod na kung may mangyari.
Okay.
Okay.
Nako, kinapos na naman tayo ng
Kinapos
oras.
tayo ng
Chris.
oras. Maganda yung usapan kasi pero
Maganda yung
kulang yung
sana
oras, no?
magkaroon tayo ng phase 2 para
phase 2 pa. Marami
ma-address
pang
natin yung mga
session.
questions.
Yun nga,
Pwede
no?
ba yun?
Pwede.
Miss Mariel.
After
Yes, sir.
next year na siguro kasi
Karoon tayo
December.
naman kasi kinapos tayo ng oras. Hindi natin
Yes,
na-address
sir.
yung hindi nga natin na-acknowledge yung mga nagjo-join sa atin ngayon
Yes, sir. Para po
Sa lahat
mabigyan,
ng mga
Mag-request
mabigyan
nagjo-join,
din
no?
sila, sir, ng linaw,
Hello,
sir.
yung sa lahat ng mga nagjo-join, no? Salamat sa oras nyo. Kami naman sa DICT, no? Lalo na sa Region 7, DICT ay tumutulong din kami, no? Naka-frontline po tayo sa lahat ng yung mga initiative, lalo na sa PixPro, no? We must educate, elevate, and expand, no? So, thank you sa inyo, no? Tutulong-tulong lang. PixPro Central Visayas, thank you din. Miss
Yes,
Mariel,
thank
thank
you
you
very
po. Thank you.
Miss Mariel,
Dexter,
meron ka
ikaw
bang
na
closing remarks? Meron ka bang
So,
in closing, what can you say?
Executive Director, ikaw na, Primo. Ikaw na
Yes,
take
sir.
away.
Sige, actually, I'm happy to see all this technical presentation na encompassing
Yeah.
na program at putting the people at the center of it.
Yeah.
Meron na
Yun ang
tayong
importante.
software, kumbaga, every time merong disaster, ipa-practice natin ito.
Yeah.
We keep on improving kasi works in progress naman ito, Press, di ba?
Yeah, okay.
Tapos magkaroon tayo ng assessment after, and then magkaroon tayo ng improvement. So, meron tayong 27 typhoons every year. So siya, ma-hone natin ito at ma-improve natin ito. Then, sana, ma-address na natin yung lahat ng mga concerns ng mga tao, particularly doon sa services with empathy, na wala nang ma-victimize. Okay?
Yes. Tsaka yung digital bayanihan.
Maraming salamat sa DICT sa
Sir Primo, no?
presentation. Miss Mariel,
Ano?
maraming salamat sa yung
Thank you din,
sana
sir.
magkaroon tayo ng part 2 dito kasi we were not able to address the questions, kinapos tayo ng oras.
Yes,
Dito
sir.
kasi sa Pix Pro, Friday na
Happy
naman.
lang.
Wala tayong weekend. So
Weekend.
yung iba nagsasabi na Friday, thank God it's Friday,
Mm-mm.
happy weekend. Dito sa Pix Pro, hindi tayo nagsasabi ng happy weekend. Meron tayong weekend, wala tayong weekend, tapos happy lang tayo dito.
Yes.
Kasi nagtatrabaho tayo
Saka yung yung
24/7.
isisingit ko na lang yung digital bayanihan, laban lang, dapat walang maiiwan.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, thank you
sige.
po, Sir Primo,
Thank you
and
very much.
Bye.
Press.
X-Pro po for the opportunity po na makapag-share po kami sa regions, from
Sige,
Region
we'll be
7.
inviting you again kasi ang ganda nung mga technical na kailangan.
Yeah, marami
silang mga
maraming
questions
susunod.
na
Maraming naka-line up.
maraming
Sige.
questions na hindi natin nasagot. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po.
And happy lang, walang weekend.
Walang weekend.